It is the ML Sports Platter brought to you by Burn Dairy, Stanley Law Offices, and Batavia Downs Gaming. Make sure you log on to BataviaDownsGaming.com for all of their amazing deals. Stay and play. And of course, head on over to 34 Rush, Thurman Thomas's unbelievable restaurant to watch all the Bills and NFL games this season. I brought on a guy who I've known for about 40 years now, and it shows how old he's getting. No, we're both getting a little old. It's my man Bob Groff, who was doing a great job with seventh inning stretch Rockaway. We're here to talk about an event. We're going to talk some Yankee baseball, kind of get the pulse of the Yankee fans down in the New York City area, and a little nostalgia when we played together on a team as well. Bobby, you're the best, man. Welcome.
Hey, man. Good to see you. Always good to come back and hang out with you. It's been, it goes back a long way.
It really does. I might have thrown a couple fastballs to Bobby in the day, but we're going to get to that in a few minutes. So this is a big event, man, and I've been pushing you guys like crazy. You've been a partner of the program, of course, but get into it. I'm going to give you the floor. Seventh inning stretch Rockaway. You got a big one down in the New York City area this Sunday, 10 to 3 p.m. It's full of everything, man. Vintage toys, autographs, Pokemon, sports cards. You're going to be there. Get into your group, your platform in this event. Just have the floor.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about it. This is a big event for me in that it's the first time I've kind of expanded out, and we've got 30 vendor tables in Rockaway down in Queens, and it's something that doesn't really exist in the area I'm in. And we've got sports cards, comics, Pokemon, vintage toys, and we'll have a Pokemon tournament at 12 o'clock. Food for sale. It's going to be a really exciting day.
So one question that I really wanted to ask you, and I know that you and I have talked about this via text and phone, and I saw you this summer at a pool party that I hosted, which was amazing. But the card industry is different, right? So when we grew up, it was huge. And then the years went on and it kind of died away because they made so many of, I don't know, the 87 tops and whatever upper decks came out. And the Griffey card was big and certain cards were huge. And then all of a sudden we've had this renaissance. Why the renaissance? How much of an impact has grading had? You know the business like the back of your hand. Why are cards back?
I mean, I think you said a bunch of it right there. Definitely like that surge in the 90s, it got crazy, such huge overproduction, and the values just dropped through the floor. So as collecting when we were kids, we thought we'd have $1 million cards in our hands, and they're pennies because they made 100,000 Frank Thomas rookies. So now kind of fast forwarding to where we are, I got back into it during the early parts of COVID, where everybody was sitting at home, and it's kind of a common story right now. People are looking around saying, what am I going to do with all my time? And I started flipping back through cards I had. And I come out and I find a Kobe rookie that was worth huge money at the time. I'm like, let me sell this right now. And that kind of restarted the funding of the hobby for me. It got me back into it. And I found myself like ripping old packs of 90 Fleer to get a Michael Jordan. And it was fun at a time where there wasn't much else to do.
Yeah, and so that's what we did as kids. It was fun. And if you talk to people from way long ago, they had Mantles and Aarons and Mazes and Drysdales and Koufaxes and Eddie Matthewses and you name it, all the way through Clemente and Jim Palmer's and everybody. But they put them on their bicycle spokes. And so they were all gone. And sometimes there's cardboard boxes and they're found in drawers and desks and wherever else. And it was fun then for them to open the packs and get them. And it was fun for us to open the packs and get them. And it was very similar in that regard. But as we mentioned, it died away and then came back. So can you take cards that we had? In other words, if I go back and say, okay, I'm going to grab a 91 Barry Sanders of any card company, and I'm going to send it in and grade it and get it back, can you boost the value from a card of our time when we were 12, 13 years old? Can you take a card and make it more valuable after it was valuable? then it dropped, and now you can make it more valuable again. Does that make sense? Is that possible?
It's definitely possible. What I see come up all the time is like when we were kids, we didn't know the difference in how we were kind of manhandling the cards.
Right.
And now in the grading systems, it's all about what the corners look like and what's the centering on the card and what's the surface look like. And we didn't take care of them. We put them in top loaders and like plastic sleeves, but now you come to a whole new era of what card collecting is. And we didn't take care of them to the point where the value stayed high. That said, there are certain things, like you look at some 90s insert cards, or like low numbered Jordans, they still have really high value. But the typical stuff that we went to the grocery store or to the corner store to buy, it's just not there. The value is not there. But I do take cards from people in the neighborhood and I'll inspect them for them.
Right.
And then I'll decide whether it makes sense for them to submit the cards or not for grading. So I'll take the time, and it's something I enjoy, but it's also a business aspect. You can boost that value depending on the card.
All right. So maybe like more modern packs and then get those graded. I know there's a lot of autograph stuff out there too. So, I mean, do you take a little bit more of the modern side? Do you take stuff that's low numbered? Is that better than going back in time?
In terms of like the modern stuff, yeah, the low numbered, the autographed, the kind of the shiny, the flashy, that's what people, especially the younger kids, like now. What's shiny, what's flashy, what shimmers in the light. Whereas you look where I'm at, like, yeah, I dabble in that, but I really like going back.
Yeah.
Like my biggest chase for me, I'm building the 1960 top set at a PSA 7, the grading company at a 7. And that's a lot. Sorry, my phone's going.
All right. Live podcasting, baby. It's all there.
Live podcast. Yeah. That's a lot. It's taken me 4 years and I'm only like 50% of the way through it.
Yeah.
So it's
you love the chase though, and we talked about that over the summer. And again, Bob Groff with us from 7th Inning Stretch Rockaway. They got a big event if you're in New York City this weekend. Of course, the Knights of Columbus in Rockaway Beach. You can go get them on all the social platforms. It's going to be over 30 vendor tables. They got the Pokemon, the comics, the vintage toys, autographs, and sports cards graded, and some probably not graded as well. And you can go find out more on the Facebook and the Instagram as well. 50-50 raffle, you name it, it's all there with 7th Inning Stretch Rockaway. It's called the Queens Culture Clash. And I have a lot of friends down in New York City. I'm trying to push it to them to share it out on their social channels as well. You and I go back. I mean, we go way, way back. I have a couple of pictures on the wall. I have a pennant and a picture. I got some in a photo album of you and me and your brother playing for the legendary Brewerton Community. Yes, the BCY, the Brewerton Community Youth League. And there were 4 teams, and we did our best. But you were the big man. You were back there at the backstop catching, man. I was throwing, trying to keep the ball, within 10 feet of the strike zone.
I mean, back then you were probably throwing 25-mile-an-hour heaters.
Oh, at least. At least 30, 35, maybe on the gun at 35. But, those were good times. And you think back to that stuff where, we were kids and we played all the sports when we were little. And then you get into later on in life and you kind of center some things in what you want to do. And I don't know, man, a lot of these helicopter parents these days, well, if Johnny's good at basketball or Susie's good at, track and field, well, we got to center it on just that, even in 6th grade or even in 4th grade, and how early these things are happening, these travel soccer tournaments and all the rest. I'm like, dude, let these kids play as much as they want, all the sports, the Jordan Spieths, the Josh Allens, they'll tell you we played everything. And Bobby, going back, even though you and I never made the pros, because let's face it, there's 1% there, and we didn't go as D1. Both of us didn't make varsity teams in high school. We made a couple, but not probably to the level that we wanted. Certainly for me, it was basketball. I always wanted, my dream was to play varsity basketball. I ended up playing a little volleyball and some tennis and this and that. But you get my point. Like, we played all of them, and I think looking back on it, it's a pretty cool thing that we were able to play all those youth sports before things got kind of crazy,
Yeah, and I see it, I mean, as my full-time job, I'm a principal down here in Queens,
Yeah.
and I see it come up where sometimes kids get over pushed in one particular thing and then they don't want to stay with it. So yeah, it comes up to me in the same way. Like what are the kids like? What are they into? Let them have a wide range of experiences, and then maybe down the road they'll make a decision for themselves. But the travel teams are crazy money down here.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's a huge business in itself.
It really is. And, I talk to people all the time. Even my nephew's getting into soccer and whatnot. And my sister took him, about a month ago or so to a tournament in Hershey. And it's like he's 6 years old. And they're playing all over the place. I got friends of mine who have kids in hockey.
Yeah.
They're spending like $5,000 every few months on one kid. And then another kid comes in and they're like, I just need to basically work and move out of the house just to pay for the bills. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'll give you the floor on, just to kind of close up on the event in 1 minute. But you know me, I've said a few things about Brian Cashman in the past. You love that. I know you get a kick out of it. But I'm not going to talk about Cashman. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about Cashman or rip him or anything like that. I want to get, because you know me, I don't think they're built for the postseason. I don't think they're built to win it. The sustainability factor, and I don't need to win it every year as a Yankee fan. I want to be built the right way. They may surprise me. It's a weak American League. As we talk right now, they're 3 games up in the AL East. Judge is a monster. Soto's got to get back a little bit. The pitching, the bullpen, they're getting bodies back fine. But all I want to ask you about is the pulse of the fan. You're around Yankee fans all over that place. The Mets, I know, could squeak into, and Lindor's going to play for MVP. So give me, and you're a diehard Yanks fan going back to our Don Mattingly days, give me the pulse of the Yankee fan down there. And if you want to, for God's sakes, your events in Queens, you're all over the place in New York. Give me the Mets too if you want to. Have the floor on a little New York baseball. Break it down for me, Bob Groff, baseball analyst from New York City. Give it to me.
Well, usually I let you be the baseball analyst as the pro. From where I'm sitting, every year I feel like the same thing comes up with the Yankees. Where's the pitching? I can't go back far enough to think about like where the pitching was really consistent. Off season, at the deadline, like where's the pitching acquisitions?
And yet in the postseason, it's good enough, as is the bullpen. They lose games 5-3, 3-1, 4-2, and they can't hit with runners in scoring position. So while it's not great, it's the sustainability isn't there. I agree with you, but somehow the pitching and bullpen, it's good enough to win games in the playoffs 75% of the time. They just can't get hits with 2 outs, 2 on, 1 out early in a game. They can't do it against a Houston or whoever. And that to me has been the downfall. I had to interrupt. You know me.
Yeah, I'm shocked. But the holes in the lineup too, they keep surfacing in the media down here. Like, what are we doing with Verdugo throughout the year? Or where's the hole at third base? And who can stay healthy and who keeps going on the DL? And like Judge had a pretty good sized slump, but hopefully it looks like he's coming back out of it now. But yeah, they got to be clicking on all cylinders. What is it, like 12 games from now?
Yeah, no kidding. But do the fans feel good, or do they feel like what do they feel like? Are they nervous? Are they confident? Where are they? Yankee.
Well, I think this last week has been a good jolt, right?
Okay.
Beating the Red Sox pretty good, getting some walk-off hits, couple games in a row.
And Judge is back. I mean, he had 2 home runs.
Yeah. It looks like Judge is finding his swing again, like hoping that this is when it starts clicking. And it feels like over the past week it is. Can they keep it going? I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, final minute or so I have. Just close it up and anything you want on this event. Obviously, I got the flyer in front of me, but you're the expert on this one.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. It's always good talking to you. We go back so far. It's like I'm in it with you. I feel like we've known each other our whole lives. I mean,
you and your brother are literally like brothers to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Mike's dad was my 4th grade teacher.
Right.
We go way back.
Passed him on everything. Just decided to write down A's and just gave him a free pass on everything.
So my event this Sunday, Culture Clash, Queens Culture Clash, huge event for Rockaway. Haven't had anything like this in Rockaway before.
It's
I'm
awesome.
really excited about it. And all the proceeds from the 50/50 and the other raffles that I have, so I've collected donations from area businesses. All those proceeds are going to Rockaway Beach autism
Right.
families.
Right.
So really excited to support a local organization and something that I believe in, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So if you're in the area, come on out. We're going to have a great time. Lots of sports cards, lots of Pokemon comics, toys, you name it as a collectible. I think we're going to have it.
Now, if somebody comes up to you and finds a BCYL baseball card, if I can send it to them, you'll sign it, right? If they come up to you
Oh, absolutely.
with
That'd be great.
inscription, are inscriptions? You charge them more for an inscription, or what's the deal there?
I haven't gotten to the point where anybody wants one, so I think I'll give it for free.
Just write HOF with no year on it, and we'll
There
let
we go.
people. We'll
I'll
let
write
people.
1988 league MVP on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That'll be a lie as well. But this is going to be great stuff. Go get him on Instagram, Facebook, a partner of the Platter. Bob Groff, my man from Seventh Inning Stretch Rockaway. It is the Queens Culture Clash. If you're in and around New York City, Sunday, September 22nd from 10 to 3 p.m. Amazing stuff. All of the stuff that Bob talked about, of course, and make sure you follow him on the social pages as well. We're talking comics, Pokemon, sports cards, vintage toys, autographs, and the 50/50 going to that great cause as well. From Seventh Inning Stretch Rockaway, it's my dear friend Bob Groff. It's all brought to you by Camillus Golf Club, Batavia Downs Gaming, and our awesome friends as well from Stanley Law Offices. Bob, you're the best. I'm going to have you back on throughout this year and next, and we'll get it going and keep these events rocking and rolling for you. My New York City people, please share it. Have a great day, Bobby, and good luck at the event, pal.
Thank you.